let's go to one of the hard things that is facing you right now, the situation in Puerto Rico. And since you're here to speak for the president, let's talk about his tweet this morning. Does President Trump believe that the people of Puerto Rico are American citizens who deserve the same access to federal aid as the people who live in Texas and Florida?
Yes.
What is his tweet about then?
Which tweet?
The tweet where he says that we can't be in Puerto Rico forever.
I think he said the U.S. military and FEMA can't be there forever. Right?
He did, yes.
Okay.
First responders,
First
FEMA
responders.
and
The minute you go anywhere as a first responder, and this would apply certainly to the military, you are trying very hard, working very hard to work yourself out of a job. There will be a period in which we hope sooner rather than later to where the U.S. military and FEMA, generally speaking, can withdraw, because then the government and the people of Puerto Rico are recovering sufficiently to start the process of rebuilding. I just got off the phone. I've talked to him many times with the governor of Puerto Rico. Great relationship. President deals with him periodically. We saw him when we were down there last week. So, you know, this country, our country, will stand with those American citizens in Puerto Rico until the job is done. But the tweet about FEMA and DOD, read military, is exactly accurate. They're not going to be there forever. And the whole point is to start to work yourself out of a job and then transition to the rebuilding process.
To a thing that happened a couple of days ago. The president tweeted, the problem with agreeing to a policy on immigration is that the Democrats don't want secure borders. They don't care about safety for USA. Do you think that's a fair characterization?
How I would put it is that there's an element within. First of all, let me step back and say, I believe that honest men and women can disagree on anything, politically or otherwise. The one thing I draw a little bit of a line to is on the security of the nation. There are certainly people in our country that have the opinion that that open borders or near open borders are fine. People should be able to come and go. There are others, myself included. You can bet the president. But I think the majority of Americans feel as though security on the borders is important. Now, how you achieve that is a different story. I believe I have great relationships with the Mexicans. We have great relationships with the Mexicans on the border. They're in the counter-drug fight with the United States. In fact, in my view, suffer more from the our drug demand, which we don't seem to address. We're trying to now under the Trump administration. But places like Mexico, Central America suffer more from our drug demand and do more in many ways to stop that drug flow than we do in our own country. I was recently down in Mexico before I took this job and flew into Sinaloa and saw Mexican military risking their lives, pulling out tens of thousands of poppy plants that are eventually turned into heroin and eventually consumed by Americans. But we need to secure our borders, and that includes the maritime, our ports. We have unbelievably dedicated men and women, CVP, DHS, that are doing that every day. We need to reinforce what they're doing down on the border. We definitely need more wall or physical barrier. We have about 600 miles of that border now secured by some type of physical barrier. By the way, the Secure Fence Act in 2006, you ought to check it out. Who voted for that? Certainly Senator Obama did, I believe, Senator Hillary Clinton, Senator Chuck Schumer, all voted for it. And we have a worse situation on our southern border. And I'm condemning Mexico here again. They're great partners, but we have a worse situation on our borders 10 years later, yet there's this unbelievable resistance to securing our border. And again, some of that is physical barrier. All of that for sure is people, technology, things like that. So we have to secure our borders, and this includes, as I say, our ports: New York, Boston, Houston. Don't have nearly the issues on the northern border with Canada. Great partnerships there, but the problem with our southern border is the drug flow, and the illegal immigration flow rides on a network that right now comes up through into the Western Hemisphere from abroad, up through Mexico, Central America, Mexico, and into the United States. Got to do something about it.